Alright, hello, this is Cadet Barnett, and with my group of Cadet Hart and Cadet Still, we're going to be talking about Deliverable1-2 for SE370. Alright, so for this deliverable, we were tasked with creating a spreadsheet that could be used as a retirement tool to calculate the value of retirement, and specifically focusing in on this deliverable, this is the foundational spreadsheet model, and so it's really going to be military based for this one, and in future spreadsheets, we're going to get into the potential value of a civilian career. But so for right now, this is what we have for our military spreadsheet. And as you can see up here, this is the input section of our spreadsheet. So you're going to be entering personal data into these green cells, and it's essentially going to spit out these different values over here in the results section by drawing out of the various tabs that are, you can see, arrayed across the bottom. And so we're just going to do a quick run through of a scenario and hit on a couple things, and then we'll be good to go. So currently, your current grade, so we'll do this upon commission, we're going to say 01 for a newly commissioned second lieutenant. And your estimated grade at ETS, in this scenario, we're going to say that we're retiring at lieutenant colonel as our plan. So 08, so 01 to 08, typical years in service, pretty average timeline would be about 20 years. So we're going to go with that. Years until projected ETS automatically takes 40 and subtracts that input box. So in this case, we have 20 and 20. Then you come down here and you're going to enter your location from the drop down box, and you're allowed, you can pick anything in here. We have pretty much everywhere you could possibly be posted. All that is in here, and so you just select. It's ordered alphabetically by state. So for our scenario, we're saying that we're spending the majority of our time during our military career in Fort Bragg. So we select that. Special pay. For our spreadsheet, we assumed that you would be entering special pay in manually, and we believe that it's very easy for a soldier to look up what special pays they're eligible for, and they should know that. So they should be able to enter the amount that they're getting paid monthly in terms of special pay. Next input box is dependents. 1 if yes, 0 if no, so it's just a binary code. We'll explain how that works here in a little bit, but for our scenario, we're going to say it's a 1 because this scenario does have dependents. Your tax rate is another drop-down box. You can either be a single filer, a married joint filer, or head of household filer. So for our case, we're going to say head of household. Percentage of salary that you contribute to the TSP. We'll get into this obviously here pretty shortly. However, we're saying for our instance it's going to be 5%. And then finally, zip code. You enter in your zip code. So for ours, I don't know off the top of my head what it is for Fort Bragg, North Carolina, but we are just going to enter in 10997 for West Point zip code, and we'll see. We'll get into it in a little bit. However, our GI Bill is not currently finished. That's essentially what this is going to be affecting, so it shouldn't mess with any of my numbers that I currently have up here. And then finally, you come down here to the table just beneath and enter in the associated number in the blue boxes that correspond with the rank. So for the first one, current rank is 01. So you come over here, 01, the number is 18. So what you want is come in here and punch in an 18. And then right here, estimated rank at ETS is, we said 08. So you come up here, that's a 25. So enter in 25. Alright. Okay, so pay. Your current pay and your pay at ETS are both drawn from the same spreadsheet that is the second tab. It's your current pay. So it's the pay chart. So what it's going to do is down here you can see it's a VLOOKUP function. It's going to essentially run down this column and then run across this column with years in the military, and it's going to select. So for ours we said 20, so bam, 3,692 and 10 cents. That's how it gets that. It does the same thing with your rank at ETS, so that's going to be up here at 08. And yeah, so it draws both those numbers, and then it pops them up right here in the first tab results section. So that's how you can get you find your current pay and pay at ETS. For BAH and BAH at ETS, it factors in the location as well as your dependents into these two results boxes, and that comes down here to these two separate tabs. BAH without dependent, as you can see, it's going to use a VLOOKUP function still and select out of here, depending on where you're located, what the BAH you're going to get if you don't have dependent. If you do have a dependent, it's going to pull it up from this tab, which is very similar chart. However, it's just BAH with a dependent. And then it spits them out over here for current. So for current and at ETS. So it gives you both numbers regardless. And then based on that binary code that you put on, if you did have a dependent or if you did not, it will choose from between the two of them with an if statement. So in this case, we said that we did have dependents. So our BAH should pull up the same one that says with dependents, which is 1581. In this case, that, like as you can see, it's clearly working here and with here at ETS with 1863, and then those are then shown up right here with 1581 and 1863. So as you can see, it's clearly working with our BAH lookups and our pay lookups. The next thing is the TSP contributions. This is from the drop down right here. Depending on what you chose, you can go back here and see the contribution matches. Essentially, the DoDs automatically contribute 1%. Based on what you contribute, then they match that. It's up to 5%. So the highest amount you can be, or of highest percentage of your salary you can be inputting each year is 10%. And so we said 5%. So the calculator is automatically gonna take 10% of our salary and put it in. As you can see, it also shows all possible contributions. So with ours, it's going to be factoring that $394 into, or it's going to be taking that out of our pay each year. So yeah, that is essentially it. Oh, the last thing is that I think I touched on this already. However, our GI Bill, net present value, we have not finished working on it yet. In future models, we'll have this up and running. However, this is the only thing we weren't able to get working quite yet. So this concludes my presentation on our foundational spreadsheet model. And yeah, there you go. Cool stuff.